So Janet,
Yes.
you know, there's people that will say, of course, okay, you know, there's been periods of time where you don't eat. You've met other people who don't eat. You've seen people who just operate and move and maneuver through the matrix, and they don't have to consume like other people are consuming, and they seem to be thriving and high vibing, right? But then they say, what about the people who are suffering? What about the people who are starving? What about starvation? Like, what do you... I feel you, yeah. So what are your thoughts on what people call starvation? What is that? If this exists, if the capacity for us to be without exists, then why do people starve?
A lack of awareness.
Point blank, that's it?
A lack of awareness. If you're made aware that you can, be sustained by the air all around you and not just dependent on food, or the awareness that you can be sustained and nourished in many other forms, not just the breath and the air. That unlocks many other doors to be nourished by, right? But if you don't have the awareness of that, you just have the awareness that I'm only getting nourished and only getting energy and like sustaining the body by eating this food substance, and you're not getting that, well then your body registers like a lack every time.
We know about the placebo effect, and we know about the nocebo effect. So if somebody can, make themselves sick, they can make themselves healthy through the power of belief. We hear stuff like Dr. Joe Dispenza, becoming supernatural, breaking the habit of being yourself. Like just through belief alone, you can trigger certain things that allow you to go beyond.
The belief that there is lack anywhere is an illusion. Like I was saying the other day, that this earth is abundant. There's more than enough food to even go around. If everyone wanted to consume solid food, like if everyone wanted to eat, there's more than enough to eat here on this planet. It's just the belief that there's not enough, and that there's greed still, and separation, and like separating, and like people are in survival mode, so they're like hoarding food when others don't have any food, because of being in survival mode, thinking like, oh, I need this to survive, so let me keep this to myself.
Okay.
And it's not even like, I wouldn't even call that a bad thing. It's literally the person like trying to do what's best for them to survive, because that's what they believe.
So it's the belief that we need this to survive that keeps us in survival.
And that we're separate, like just having the awareness that we're not separate, that all life is connected. You would want to then help your brother, help your sister, like share, because that what affects them affects you, what affects you affects them, and vice versa, both ways. So that is key for ending world hunger, really, is having that awareness that we're all connected, we're all one. We shouldn't be having separation, we shouldn't be greedy, we should be sharing and giving and supporting and helping each other. And in doing that, nobody will go hungry.
They say that there's enough fruit that falls down off of trees in the tropics and just rots there on the ground, like fruit that is unclaimed, that it could feed the whole world. Enough fruit just in the tropics that falls down that the whole world would not be hungry.
You said it right there, the fruit. The fruit falls down as an offering for us. And the thing about fruit is it's a karma-free, like suffering-free food, because you're not even harming the tree or the plant that produced the fruit. It's ripened and it drops for you. There's no harm in it, and it's actually helping the plant, because then you go disperse the seeds and it keeps growing and keeps going.
It helps them multiply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fruit is the number one food that you could possibly eat, not just for yourself and your own health and your bodily health and mental health, emotional health, your overall health and well-being, but also for the health of the planet.
The planet. So you're helping to create heaven on earth by eating fruit, by consuming fruit, and by helping disperse more trees that help it to multiply. Yeah.
You won't have your body will be cleansed. Like, you're not gonna have parasites. Maybe you still do parasite cleanses, I feel like, every few years, just to like cleanse the body. But you're not gonna be in a state to be at war. You're not gonna have like anger. Like, all these things are gonna subside.
Okay.
So it's like you're healing your internal state of being, not just your physical vessel, but also your internal state of being is also healed by consuming fruit and cleansing the body in general. So then by default, like, if you're cleansed on the inside, you're healed on the inside, it's more likely that you're gonna want to do good for the planet.
For sure.
But if you still have all this like stuff going on the inside, not mentally, emotionally healthy on the inside, how could you even think about the outside when you're just concerned about surviving?
Yeah. We don't think so much about the outside when we have so much concern for the inside. That's true. That's very true. So I want to get this right real quick, just to make sure that I don't have it wrong. And correct me if I have it wrong. So if chronic living is a program, you're saying that starvation is also a program. Like, if chronic living is an awareness, then starvation is a level of awareness. Like, that somebody doesn't understand that they have an option, that they have an alternative. They feel like they're supposed to starve because they lack something. Like, that's just the way things are.
It's lack and abundance.
Okay.
It's limited and it's limitless.
Okay.
It's like scarcity and it's like infinite.
And there's
it's like the opposite.
And there's a certain point where you feel like, whether it is the subconscious mind or our programming, like, what overrides the faculties of the body when it comes to the biology of belief, that we trigger whatever genes or whatever things in the body, that we trigger the cells to understand that we can get nourishment from other sources. Like, is that the process that we're undergoing when someone is on this path where they're coming into more belief and more confidence and more worthiness and more understanding and innerstanding and overstanding, and then they get to the point where, it's just knowing that you can, knowing that it's possible, and when it hits the cells, the body responds. Like, the mind goes and the body follows.
I would say it's a remembrance.
Okay.
Right? Because we've already lived this way.
Okay, like an ancestral remembrance.
Yeah, this is not, breatharianism is not, and chronic living is not something new. Like, we've been living this way. So it's more of a remembrance really than learning something new. But I feel like a lot of times that's where like healing comes in, and like really having the ego in check and in balance. Because a lot of times that ego is still the thing that's like in survival mode. And so, it's the ego that can get triggered by this, like, what? What do you mean? Like, but if you've also like healed more like mentally and like balanced out your ego, then you're not going to be as reactive. You're going to be more open to the possibility of this.
For sure.
Yeah.
So it comes with that balance. Give yourself some allowance. Right? So once the seed has been planted, access granted. We can live a life that's much more enchanted. Yeah. So much love, everyone. Thank you so much for receiving. Thank you so much for believing. And we'll see you again very soon. Stay in tune.